Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with My Sanity. Sorry this review is a day late, guys. I've been very busy this week. As I had said on the podcast earlier, I did go to Monday Night Raw on Monday, so I was there live in Cleveland at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse for Monday Night Raw. I enjoyed this episode, guys. I had a few disappointments, and one being Alexa Bliss. I really thought she was going to be there after reading that she was going to be on the Raw brand, and now this morning I woke up and apparently she's going to be on SmackDown. So I don't know if the plans with her are to put her back with the Wyatt Six, or not back with them. I guess she's never been with them, but she was with um, Rotunda. She was with Bray Wyatt for a while there, with when he was still the Fiend character. So I don't know if that's the plan to put her back with them. I wouldn't prefer that. I would like more of a more serious role for her, whether it's the Goddess again or something different. But was disappointed I didn't see her, but they did stack the card, guys. I got a very good two qualifying matches, which we'll talk about here. The women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Liv Morgan and Io Sky was sweet, and CM Punk versus Sami Zayn was amazing as well, which was our main event. We'll get right into it here, guys. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I have to work here shortly, unfortunately. But the very first segment of the night we got was Jey Uso coming down through the crowd. And I did watch this back on Netflix the day after the show. I mean, it pretty much translated perfectly, guys. It was very, very loud in that arena. I posted a few pictures and videos on my Instagram, and I posted a couple pictures to my YouTube channel here of the show on Monday. But I need to go find a better Jey Uso video because it was very loud. I mean, what you saw on TV was what you got in the arena at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Everybody was behind Jey Uso, and in this circumstance, guys, hey, I'm never going to be able to not admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong on this. Um, Jey Uso, the reaction he's getting from a live crowd is completely understandable why Triple H gave him the men's Royal Rumble. I still don't agree with it necessarily. I mean, it is deserved. Jay's worked his ass off. As he said in this promo, he's been with the company for 15 years now. He kind of worked his way from being a tag team guy. Nobody ever thought he was going to be anything more than that. And now he's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Still not super excited for the inevitable Jey versus Gunther match, but I'm starting to slowly accept it, guys. I mean, that's what we're going to get, I think. I think Jay's going to get crowned as your new World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania. I think it would be sweet if he didn't. I mean, it would probably piss off all the fans because everybody is so behind him right now. So I think you got to give him the strap. But I'm okay with it because I think you can work around it. I don't think it's going to be the actual main event on either show, um, with potential teased matches such as the triple threat with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk being on the table, a possible John Cena world title match. Cody Rhodes still has his belt, so I think matches like that deserve to be the last match of the night. But you could still have a Gunther versus Jey maybe kick off a night 2 on Sunday, or you could have it kick off night 1. I know generally Triple H likes to have the two strongest matches opening and closing the show. So I would put it probably as an opener on one of those two nights because it's not going to be the best match of the card with teased matches, like I said, the triple threat that could be amazing. I don't know how good from a quality perspective that John Cena versus Cody Rhodes would be just because Cena's older at this point. But Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany could very well tear the house down. I just don't think Jey Uso is somebody you put in the very last match of the night, knowing what he did last year at WrestleMania and how a lot of his matches aren't ever top tier quality. It's more so the character work. He has a catchphrase people gets behind with the whole yeet thing and the dance. Everybody in the whole arena was doing it. I was doing it. Like I said, guys, I don't hate Jey Uso. I like Jey Uso. I don't like the idea of that match again at WrestleMania. That's all I didn't like, really. But we're getting it, it seems like, guys. He said he's going to make his rounds. He's going to talk to the other champions. He's going to go see Cody on Friday. But I don't see a potential Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso match in the future. I think it will be Jey Uso versus Gunther for sure. Great segment here, guys. Gunther came out afterwards, kind of gave one of the better promos Gunther's given in the past few weeks, where he talked about how you have options, Jay. I strongly advise you to consider them because if you fight me again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to beat the ever-living hell out of you, is pretty much what he said. And I thought Gunther fired up very well here. And Jay kind of just snapped back at him with saying, hey, I'm going to enter WrestleMania's main event, Jey Uso, and I'm going to leave a champion. So, very good opening segment here, guys. We go from this into our first match of the night, which was Ludwig Kaiser. He cut a little promo before he came out, just kind of getting everybody pissed off in the crowd. He's like, I demand all your gratitude, as he always does. And then it was Penta El Zero Miedo coming out. And this match honestly lasted a little longer than I thought it would, but Penta did come away with the victory. He didn't hit the Mexican Destroyer tonight, but he did hit the Penta Driver and got the 1-2-3 victory over Ludwig in a pretty good match. After this guy, Charlotte Flair came out. This was kind of funny because she had a couple minutes to react with the crowd when she came out. If you've ever been to a live show before, even on Netflix now in the US, we get ad breaks. So I don't think it's that way in the international markets, but for a couple minutes there, she was just standing in the ring and kind of like chatting and chirping at fans and kind of interacting with them, just like looking around and waiting for the cue to come back live so she could cut her promo. And she started talking about how it was such a hard road back, how the last year and a half really tested her mentally and physically, coming back from this rehab from the injury she had. And we booed the absolute hell out of her, guys. And I don't think, for all the people in the IWC online on Twitter and everything that were talking about how, oh, it's very rude that they're doing this to her, I don't think we were booing her injury or anything, guys, as much as we were booing the decision to once again give Charlotte Flair a main event spot. She's been 14-time world champion already, and for as much as people brag and like get on Roman, like she has more title wins than Roman Reigns does, guys. I think she's only in her mid to late 30s, and she's a 14-time women's champion already. If you listen to my previous episode, you know that I fully expected Charlotte Flair to win, although I wanted Alexa to win. But just the fact that we're giving it to her again, I think upset a lot of people. I know I'm not as upset just because I'm hoping the direction is either a 3-match thing with Tiffany where Tiffany wins 2 out of the 3, or if it's a one-off, I hope it's just a banger of a match, which it should be between Tiffany and Charlotte, because Charlotte can work her ass off at the end of the day. Whether you love her or you hate her, as she says, she's a damn good performer, and her and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39 had fucking one of the best women's matches, maybe the best women's match that I've ever seen. I mean, it's up there with Sasha and Bayley from NXT TakeOver years ago. I mean, it was one of the best women's matches I've ever seen. So when it comes, this is the opposite of Jey Uso, guys, where as everybody loves Jey's personality, we love that he's getting a chance finally to win the big one at WrestleMania. It's completely the opposite with Charlotte. People are pissed off, but Charlotte can actually fucking get in there and tear the house down when it comes to in-ring performing. So I'm not very upset because I know that Charlotte and Tiffany will tear the house down at WrestleMania if that's the route they decide to go with. But she started talking. I like how Charlotte did roll with the punches a little bit here, guys, when she was talking and getting booed. And she's like, whether you love me, you hate me, you boo me, Cleveland. She's like, I love you fans regardless. I hope they do lean into her being a heel. I don't think Charlotte Flair has any business being a babyface in 2025. She's a Flair, for goodness sake. I mean, the Flairs are natural heels, so I hope they lean into that more and have her actually play a heel. But Rhea Ripley came out, got a big pop in Cleveland, as she always does. I think people were just tired of hearing the same old Charlotte stick about, "Hell, I came back, I fought, I'm the best women's wrestler of all time, blah, blah, blah." And we wanted something different, so Rhea came out. They had a little interaction. Charlotte said she's going to appear on NXT, which she did last night, and she will also appear on Friday, which I fully expect her to. I don't know if she will accept it on Friday, but I fully expect her and Tiffany to kind of have it out for each other, and I expect that to be our WrestleMania match. So another good segment there, guys. Ripley was kind of begging Charlotte to pick her again because they've had a couple matches in the past, which I thought were very good. I think they had either the best or second best match of the COVID WrestleMania when Rhea Ripley had the NXT championship and Charlotte fought her and beat her. And then obviously they had the WrestleMania 39 title match where Rhea Ripley beat Charlotte Flair, which was an outstanding, as I just said, match. One of my favorite women's matches of all time. So I wouldn't be upset if they ran this back, but given they're already doing Jey versus Gunther again, I really don't think we get Charlotte versus Rhea part 3 here, guys. After this here, we get the New Day comes out with new entrance music, which is pretty cool, I thought, versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. The crowd wasn't super into this, to be honest, guys. one of the few throwaway matches of the night. But Logan Paul came down a couple minutes in, did his thing, was pissing off the fans, and then cost Rey Mysterio the match is basically the gist of this. The big thing coming out of this is New Day has new entrance music, and is Logan Paul part of the New Day now? Question mark. We don't know. Who knows? um, and we get a short little CM Punk interview after this backstage here, and he talks about how he's going to fight Sami Zayn. He apologizes in advance because Sami's not going to make it to Elimination Chamber. And then back from that, we keep getting recaps. We got the I Show Speed recap where he got absolutely obliterated at the Royal Rumble by Logan Paul, just speared out of his boots there. And then we get a little hype reel, guys. They show that for the Women's Royal Rumble, we have Bayley and Lyra Valkyria in the audience, ringside. This is one of the few things, again, guys, I didn't like. I've harped on this a couple times. Lyra Valkyria, why is she not being booked as strong as, or as strongly, I should say, as Chelsea Green on SmackDown? She is your new mid-card Intercontinental Women's Champion. Why is she not on TV? At least she was in front of the crowd. I mean, she was in the audience, I guess, but she hasn't wrestled a match on live TV in a month, guys. And she had 2 backstage little segments, but how do you expect to keep getting her over if she's not in front of a crowd? I really like Lyra Valkyria. I know she doesn't get the strongest reactions right now because she's still newer to the WWE main roster audience. Not a lot of people that watch Raw and SmackDown watch NXT, and I have a lot of wrestling fans. Like, my one good buddy has been watching wrestling for the better part of his entire life, which is like 30 years at this point, and he doesn't watch NXT. So it's like, if you want to get her more over and over, which I think she can wrestle her ass off. I think her character's cool. She's got a good entrance. She needs a little more promo work, but she's young, guys. And the way we're going to get her over is having her in matches, having her in segments, just showing her sitting there behind a barricade smiling. I mean, the only positive thing I could say about that is that she was on TV at least. At least the fans got to look at her, but we need to really start doing stuff with Lyra Valkyria. So, little complaint there, but they did show those 2 women. And then we got a match between Io Sky and Liv Morgan, which I thought was 1A and 1B. The 2 qualifying matches were by far the 2 best matches of the night. Io hit a couple really good moves here. She hit a big knee to Liv Morgan in the face, which I think busted Liv's lip up a little bit. And at the end of it, Rhea Ripley came out to make a save because Raquel Rodriguez kept getting involved. She kept jumping on the apron, and then Rhea runs down, takes her out. And then Liv's head's kind of dangling between the ropes, and she just smacks Liv right across the face, giving Io the disqualification loss, unfortunately. So Liv Morgan, although I'm a big Liv Morgan fan as well, I think a lot of people were pulling for Io Sky to win this match and go on to the Chamber. Liv Morgan is the first women's entrant into the Chamber, guys. I do hope for the women and possibly the men we get sort of a last chance qualifying match, because I don't think you can I don't think you can leave Io Sky out of the women's Elimination Chamber match. I think she does too much. She's a top 3 technical wrestler on your roster, even with people like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, like people that can tear the house down. Rhea Ripley, I think she's a top 3 worker. And if you are going to end up going Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, or depending if Bianca enters and wins, we can get finally that big match between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. But if you're going to do that, I think either way, whether Io is going to face Ripley at WrestleMania or not, I think she needs to be in that Women's Chamber match. So I hope we get her in that somehow, whether she's the last entrant or not. After this here, guys, we had the War Raiders being interviewed when American Made rolled up, and Chad Gable talked about how he is going to conquer, I believe he said, the dark arts of Lucha Libre. He's going to go away for a while, and when he comes back, he wants the Creed brothers to have tag team gold, and he wants Ivy Nile to have the women's IC title, which I thought was funny. So I'm assuming he's going to like Lucha Underground or something for a little bit and then coming back. After this segment here, guys, we got another backstage promo. Adam Pearce was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, I believe it was here, and he talked about how he made one last deal before the transfer window ended over the weekend for the Royal Rumble, and Raw is acquiring AJ Styles, so he will be making his debut this coming Monday in Nashville, which I'm looking forward to. I think that's the right decision. Raw they have a lot of new talents already that we haven't seen in WWE, so matchups like Braun Breaker versus AJ Styles, Penta versus AJ Styles. When he comes back, Ilya Dragunov is on Monday Night Raw. I mean, there's just endless supply of absolute classic matches that AJ Styles could have on Raw, guys. So I really think this was the right decision by Triple H to put him on the Raw brand. After this, we did get Seth Rollins, who came out to a massive pop. I don't know if we were actually expecting him tonight, but he came out with his whole full getup on, looking like freaking bisexual Undertaker meets Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers, where did you get those peepers? Came out there with that long freaking leather trench coat on, and his cowboy hat was looking hilarious. I mean, the stuff, I was literally sitting in my seat, and like 2 minutes after he came out, I was checking Twitter, and just how quick people get these memes up is absolutely hilarious. We saw the Jeepers Creepers one. I saw the freaking Undertaker meets like Rob Zombie one, something like that. Like just some of the shit was so funny that I was reading. So that's the good part of the IWC is they come up with some hilarious stuff like that. But Seth said he had a lot to talk about. He talked about taking out Roman Reigns. He said you're really not going to like this, but Roman Reigns might not make it till WrestleMania. And he talked about how much he still despises and hates CM Punk. And Seth Rollins, guys, like anytime he has a mic in his hands, he always tears the house down. So if they end up doing that triple threat at WrestleMania, which we'll talk about, I might do a very early WrestleMania predictions video here within the next like week or two, just to see how accurate I am. I kind of want to go back come April and check how accurate my card was compared to what their card actually ended up being. But Seth Rollins, yeah, anytime he talks, it's just, I mean, he's great, guys. He's been around for a while now. He's obviously a main eventer. I hope he eventually gets some more momentum here because lately it seems like he's been the fall guy for a lot of the bloodline stuff. Lost to Gunther, obviously. Like he's been taking a lot of L's recently. So I would like to get him back in the win column and back to where he's on top, where he so rightfully belongs. Um, he called Sammy out, kind of wanted to get Sammy hyped because he says if you win this match, then CM Punk has no other route to WrestleMania unless he hijacks the show or something. So if you take CM Punk out tonight, he cannot win the Elimination Chamber in Toronto, and he cannot challenge Gunther. He cannot challenge Cody Rhodes. I guess it would be whoever Jey Uso doesn't choose because I imagine we'll get who Jey Uso is fighting before the Chamber. But he's like, yeah, he's like, you need to take him out. And basically, it was a rah-rah speech to fire up Sammy to get him excited to take out CM Punk. And then we did, to end the show, get the main event, which was Sami Zayn versus CM Punk, which I was very excited for because CM Punk rarely ever wrestles on Monday Night Raw, guys. It's been a long time. So to see him in the main event, I kind of figured when they announced this before the show that we were getting this match that Alexa wasn't going to be there because I'm like, they're not going to give us CM Punk wrestling in the main event. They're not going to give us EO versus Liv. They brought out Logan Paul. We got Charlotte Flair, who's on SmackDown. They're not going to give us all this and then still give us Alexa Bliss. But still was a little disappointed, guys. I fucking love Alexa Bliss. So I hope we see her Friday on SmackDown. But getting back to the main event, CM Punk versus Sami Zayn. This was a very, very good match, especially for TV. They got some good time here, went through a couple breaks. This was the first time ever, I believe, they said that Sami Zayn has fought CM Punk one-on-one, I believe, which is just the amount of time both of these guys have been in the business. Granted, Punk was gone for 7 years. Sami Zayn's been around forever, so I'm surprised this match hasn't taken place yet. But I thought they had really good chemistry, guys. I really enjoyed the spot where CM Punk had Sammy in the corner, ran up, hit him with his knee, and then went for his patented bulldog, and Sammy reversed it into a Blue Thunder Bomb, which kicked out at 2.5, which I thought was a really awesome spot. We had a couple other awesome spots where Sammy went for the haluva kick, and it was cool because CM Punk like got out of the ring really fast. Like just some of the counters, Sami Zayn had a counter to one of CM Punk's moves too, where he hit him with the roll up out of nowhere after a short little 5-second sequence they were doing that was really smooth. And then CM Punk dodged the haluva kick, and then eventually when Sammy was running to hit him with the kick, he just snatched him up out of the corner, hit him with the go to sleep, and he did get the 1-2-3. So CM Punk wins here, guys, in our main event. And the first two men's Royal Rumble entrants or Royal Rumble, Jesus Christ, Elimination Chamber entrants are now John Cena and CM Punk. So I am expecting we are probably going to get some younger guys in there because I don't expect CM Punk and Cena, especially if he's going to be filming more movies during his retirement tour, in quotations, is going to be taking any kind of insanely crazy bumps. I think we're going to get some guys like a Seth Rollins, who has a qualifying match here, he said, in a couple weeks on Raw. I think we'll get him in there. We'll get some guys that are going to be taking some crazy bumps probably because I can't see CM Punk or John Cena taking any absurd bumps at their age because it might affect their ability to actually be at WrestleMania because we know CM Punk's had a injury-prone history the last couple years between the Royal Rumble, where he got hurt in his first match at WWE, and then he got hurt a couple times in AEW. Um, I think he tore his triceps in AEW as well, and then he had another small injury. So, don't want to see any big injuries before WrestleMania. So let's hope the Elimination Chamber goes smoothly. But overall, guys, the vibe I got from everybody, like I was even talking with some people on the way out of the arena, everybody thought it was a very good show once again. Um, we got a little bit more story. We don't fully know what they're going to do as far as what we're going to be seeing at WrestleMania. We hear rumblings of a triple threat match with those two main event guys, Roman, Punk, and Rollins. I'm assuming, like I said, Charlotte and Tiffany will be the match, and Jey and Gunther are probably going to be the match. But recently, Triple H has liked to swerve everybody with the whole Jey Uso winning the Rumble thing. And whenever people seem to put out articles about what they think will happen, what the potential matchups are going to be, he seems to change it up. So who knows? That'll be a fun video to make, putting out that WrestleMania predictions, though, guys. So very good Monday Night Raw. Let's see how Friday Night SmackDown goes. I do plan to get out a NXT review here at some point with you guys. I just realized that I didn't realize they had the replays on the CW app. So I downloaded that on my TV and tablet so I can actually watch that for free without even logging into my cable provider. So I can catch NXT because I work late at night. So I can catch the NXT reviews probably on Wednesday mornings. I'm not going to review every NXT. But whenever there's big appearances, guys like a Charlotte Flair popping up or The Rock popping up like he did a couple weeks ago, or any cool main event talent or big matches between Julia, Stephanie McCurr, Roxanne, Cora Jade, anybody like that, I'll try to review some of those bigger shows for you. So I do also want to get eventually an AEW review out here because I have not done one yet. I used to watch AEW quite a bit, guys, from 2019 till about late 2023, I'd say, and then I really haven't watched much of it at all, just because after the CM Punk incident where he left, MJF, I thought really got ice cold and has fallen off a cliff. But I do want to get back into it and kind of, whether I hate it or love it, I want to give you guys those reviews, honestly. Sometimes the content's better if it sucks, and I can just absolutely fucking grill the hell out of the show. So we will see how that goes, but I will try to get my pulse back on the AEW radar a bit, and I will see you guys probably next Tuesday for the next installment of Monday Night Raw review. All right, guys. Logging off is Austin.